Good evening and welcome to another meeting of the Hartford Plan Commission. I'd like to call this meeting to order and let you know that we did have our members, Tony, Tom, and Ralph, all contact us, and they are excused. We have just enough here for a quorum, and we'd look for a review of the minutes of July 11th, 2022.
Also move.
Scott moves, Joe seconds. Any comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Appearances. We do have a public hearing, so if you would like to make any comments other than at the public hearing, this would be the time to bring it up. Anything that would come before the Plan Commission, any citizen is welcome to come up to the podium, and you get 3 glorious minutes to opine. Any calls? Last call. If not, we'll go to our public hearing for a conditional use permit in the town of Rubicon for a landscaping business in an agricultural district. I'll open the hearing and ask for a reading of the public notice.
Please take notice that a public hearing will be held at 5:30 p.m. or thereafter on August 8th, 2022 in the Common Council Chambers at the lower level of City Hall, 109 North Main Street, by the City of Hartford Plan Commission to consider the following. A request for conditional use has been filed by Eric Langenecker to allow a building for a landscape business in the A2 zoning district in the town of Rubicon. Section 13.0404 of the code states that following a public hearing and after careful consideration, the Plan Commission may grant the conditional use permit as applied for, grant the permit with conditions deemed appropriate, or deny the permit. Map of the parcel and proposed renderings can be viewed in the Planning and Zoning Office by appointment, 109 North Main Street, Monday through Friday between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Purpose of said hearing is to hear those persons who wish to express their opinion for or against the granting of the conditional use permit, dated the 29th of July, 2022. It appeared in the Daily News July 29th and August 5th, and 7 notices were sent.
One quick question. You mentioned 7 notices sent. How far was the distance from that?
Sure. We do 200 feet in every direction from the property line.
Okay, thank you very much.
Which is what the state requires.
All righty. With that, staff review, we have our city planner, Justin Drew.
So Mr. Langenecker has a 20-acre parcel. You can see where it's located here. His goal is to build eventually a house, but also about a 7,200 square foot building for his landscaping vehicles. He would also service them on site, and he proposes to have a topsoil stock on site as well. Given that landscaping businesses are generally appropriate in the agricultural district, they're common to find there, as long as they're not so large as to be of a very large scale that would disrupt the surrounding agricultural uses and residential uses. This is not large enough to create that concern in staff's opinion. The only concern we had was about wanting to constrain the stockpile of soil to make sure that doesn't become too large. So per my recommendations, recommending that the stockpile be no more than 15,000 square feet, located no closer than 300 feet to adjacent residential structures. But with that, I feel that it complies with the applicable comprehensive zoning ordinance between the City of Hartford and the Town of Rubicon. We'll also note that the Town of Rubicon Plan Commission approved this in June of this year.
Thank you. With that, we'll go next to appearances in favor of. Anybody wishing to appear in favor of, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and you get 3 glorious minutes. Anyone? Super.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Plank. I am one of the members of the Plan Commission in the town of Rubicon. The Plan Commission did indeed recommend approval for this conditional use permit, and the town board approved that recommendation, and that's why we're here this evening. This, I believe, is maybe Justin will correct me on this, the first conditional use hearing we've had with the comprehensive zoning, the intermunicipal zoning between the City of Hartford and the town of Rubicon. Just want to reiterate, it's been good working with Justin and his staff. We have another one coming up here pretty soon, one that was postponed from last December. We are working on a developer's agreement with that gentleman as we speak, and I suspect that will be coming before you fairly soon. But I want to speak in favor of the conditional use permit for Mr. Longenecker's landscape business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of? Please come to the podium. In favor of, last call, appearances in favor of. Hearing none, we go to appearances in opposition to the conditional use permit in the town of Rubicon for a landscaping business in an agricultural district. To hear any appearances in opposition, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and you get 3 glorious minutes.
Hi there, I'm Tammy Banky.
Can you take the microphone, pull it down, please? Wonderful, thank you very much.
Is it going to echo on me?
That's wonderful.
I'm Tammy Banky, address is N4513 Goodland Road, and the property is the family farm. Don's mother is right across from the property. I'm not necessarily opposed, but I'm opposed to the driveway piece, and so I didn't know if I should come up now or before.
That's fine. You're fine, thank you.
So my concern has to do with several things. Obviously, we're at an intersection where we are used to a lot of large equipment coming through. We've seen the damage it does on the road. So I'm a little concerned. The first drawing was lovely, but the second one, where it comes all the way through, is where I have some concerns. I looked at the website, and he's got some lovely equipment, and it's really large. And so my concern is a bit about what it's going to do to that road, the NP road, and some of the safety issues with people coming up the hill and around that corner. You know, even in my SUV to come out of Ma's driveway and make a turn, you have to swing out. And so I'm a little concerned about that large equipment coming and swinging out onto that road, and then what is it going to do to that roadway and how that will be fixed. My other concern is that I don't know if they're going, plans for it to be gated, but that could end up to be, if that's open and it's not gated off, that could become a shortcut from either road, instead of going all the way up and coming around, that people will just start cutting through using that driveway as a way to get from one road to the other. So that is also a concern. It's going to, obviously, there's a lot of traffic on the road, and it's going to increase it. So those are some of my concerns. And of course, just sort of the softer ones are, you know, Ma's house is right there and the headlights coming in. I was wondering, is this a place where their customers will be coming in and buying things? How much traffic will it be? How long does the operations run? So will there be headlights coming in her windows at all times of the day and night and early morning and those types of things? So just those are some of the concerns. Again, I'm not opposed to it, but just wondering, I have more questions about what's actually going to happen there and the equipment going in and out of that. That's safety issues I have. If you don't mind, I'm going to quick look at my notes and make sure I covered it all.
Well, I hope you did, because you just hit 3 minutes.
I hit 3 minutes?
Yes, you did.
Dang, I got to tell him to say it. You haven't-
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the comments. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to appear in opposition of? Anybody? Please come up to the microphone, state your name and address so we can write it down here, and you get 3 glorious minutes.
Hello, my name's Don Banky, Tammy's husband. I also would like to say I'm neither for this or against this. I know Eric, and some of my questions are also, we're just concerned because my mother's lived there forever. I'm used to this being farm property forever, and I guess I'm just concerned that Eric have a clean property, a well-organized business, not a lot of mess, and that's basically it. I think Tammy covered the rest of it, so
Wonderful.
I'll leave it at that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to appear in opposition of? Anybody in opposition of? Last call in opposition of? Hearing none, I'd like to close the hearing and ask for discussion by the members of the Plan Commission. Scott?
Obviously, we don't deal with driveways and all the other things that come forward. We're just dealing with, do we want this by intermunicipal agreement in between?
Yeah,
their-
I mean, yeah. You can deal somewhat with the driveways in this instance. I spoke to Mr. Longenecker about it a little, and he intends to have 2. His main goal when he builds a house out here and lives out there is that he can get from his house to the landscaping business, not that it necessarily be a throughway or that the main vehicles, like the big vehicles, come through that northern driveway. So I don't think he's opposed to the concept of making it so that the vehicles are focused on going out that southern driveway, which is probably the safer place just because there's a stop sign at Goodland and N.
Right. So who gives access to N, Goodland, NP?
The county.
The county would do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the issues that would have to come before that particular governing body, not this one. So I have no other questions, Mayor.
Thank you. I did want to ask, as far as the NP and that, because there were concerns mentioned about the road, then those would be Dodge County, correct?
Yeah, I mean,
That
those
would
are
be pointed
county
toward
roads.
as regards to weight limits, anything along that line, I'm assuming.
Right. And I mean, he's got some big vehicles, but I don't think it's anything more than what you'd find with some very large agricultural equipment.
Understood, okay. Just wanted to be sure that we were doing that. Okay, with that, any other comments as regards to members of the commission? If not, I would entertain a motion,
Also move
Scott,
for approval.
for approval.
I'll second.
Second by Dennis. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Do note too that Tom did come during this, so you have, so that he's marked as here. Okay, thank you. All righty, item number 5, discussion and consideration of a rezoning request for 1590 East Sumner Street. And we'll have that with our city planner, Justin Drew.
Yeah, so this property is just north of the Associated Bank, and it's got an entrance both on Hilldale, and it's 2-level. The other level is on into the Piggly Wiggly area parking lot. This is kind of just a cleanup for the new owners. It's not changing any of the uses that are there. They just would feel more comfortable because those types of uses are specifically called out in the B4 district, and they feel like given how this property is used, it should be zoned B4 office instead of B5 highway business. Staff is not opposed. It's probably a little better fit and recommends in favor.
Thank you. You read through it. It's pretty self-explanatory, more cleanup than anything else. Would look for a motion to approve unless there aren't any questions. Dennis to approve. Tom second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Next, item 6, discussion and consideration of a resolution recommending the transfer of right-of-way portion on Wilson Avenue adjacent to 835 East Sumner Street. And to that, our city planner, Justin Drew.
So you looked at this in April when we vacated the right-of-way, and this is just the next step. Now that it's not right-of-way, in order to turn over any piece of property to a private entity, the Plan Commission has to recommend in favor of a resolution, and then the council has final action. We are recommending that this go to JJR Properties LLC, which is, they own the property just to the west. It would give them additional space to do the development that they propose to do for parking, setbacks, all of that, and that was discussed at the meeting in April. So staff is in favor and can answer any questions.
Okay. Are there any questions for Justin? Like he had mentioned, we had talked about this in April, so this again is a little bit more of a perfunctory thing. If you'd like to make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve.
Super, thank you, Joe.
Second.
Second by Scott. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Next item, number 7, discussion and consideration of a resolution recommending the transfer of another right-of-way portion on Bell Avenue adjacent to 1147 East Sumner Street. And back to our city planner, Justin Drew.
This is essentially the same thing. You can see the excess right-of-way area where it is. It's to the same party. They also own the land just to the north of these and would use it for parking lot setbacks. You can see that there's a driveway on that very southern end that connects to 1121 East Sumner. And we are in the process of finalizing an access easement to ensure that that driveway would remain. And assuming this gets approved at Plan Commission and Council, we would have that easement recorded and then could turn the property over after that, but not until that's complete.
Super, thank you. Any questions? Dennis?
So
Is it wise for us to go forward at this point without that, or does it matter?
Yeah, they've given us what we need, we just need to finish it up on our end. But we will, even if the Plan Commission and Council approve it, the city will hang on to that property until that condition has been met. So, yeah, the city attorney and I discussed it, and we are very comfortable with going through it in this process.
All right, thank you. Then move to approve.
Move to approve. Dennis, second by Tom. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you, gentlemen. We stand adjourned at the call of the chair.